loving yourself throughout your weight loss journey. So something that is probably a lot easier said than done, especially since we live in a world that is constantly telling us that we should only love ourselves whenever we get to a certain place, or whenever we are at a certain weight, or whenever we have a certain body type. Something that I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to. So I am super excited to share that today I'm going to be joined by Nalau Nangola, and we're going to be talking about how does someone love themselves throughout their weight loss journey. You know, whenever you have the goal of losing weight, but you don't want to wait until you get to this certain weight to have your confidence, or you don't want to wait until you've lost a certain amount of weight to feel like you're worthy. Like, how do you really make sure that you're feeling valued before and during this weight loss journey? So in case it's your first time joining one of my videos, my name is Bianca Lynch of BiancaLynchCoaching.com. So I'm an accountability coach, and I help millennials turn their health, wealth, and bucket list goals into reality. And lately we've been talking a lot about weight loss, and not only weight loss, but we've been talking about, you know, the real journey, right? Like the stuff that happens behind the scenes. Like we've been talking about, you know, like body shame. We've been talking about perfectionism, and how, you know, something like weight loss is not supposed to be rushed. Although, again, we do live in a world where people are constantly talking about how you can lose weight fast. So again, I'm super excited today to be joined by Nalau. This is episode number 5 of Goal Slay Monday. So I'm also super excited about that. And I see that Nalau has joined, so we're going to go ahead and let her in, and then we will get started. And if you guys have any questions or comments, of course, drop them below. I will also upload this to my IGTV. So if you have any questions later, or if you're watching the replay, you can always still drop your questions or your comments below and tag Nalau. All right, so let's let her in. Okay, so Nalau, it says, oh, I see it, view request. Just kidding. Okay, so hopefully that worked, because tech. Request.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
All right.
I'm so glad this is working. I was like, am I going to figure this out?
Me too. I was like, okay. So you can hear me, you can see me, everything good?
Yes, perfect.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining. I'm very excited to have this conversation. Her and I had talked very briefly on the phone, so I know that we're already on the same page with like a lot of things. So I'm super excited to get into the conversation. So before we go into the specific topic, why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and all of those things.
All right, so I am a fitness and self-love coach, and I guess I'll talk a little bit about kind of how I got to where I am now in my journey. So I started mainly just focusing on like fitness and weight loss and helping women, yes, reach their body goals, right? And I did that for many, many years, but as I worked with women and just as I saw in my own experience, the issue was way deeper than just wanting to lose a few pounds. Like there was a lot of self-esteem issues, a lot of like self-worth issues. And so as my own journey evolved to learning to love, accept, embrace myself, and then also helping women do that in their own fitness and weight loss journeys, that's kind of how I infuse the fitness and the self-love. So now really I help women more heal their relationship with their bodies and learn to love themselves so that they can actually have the thing that they want. And for a lot of women, really, it's just to feel connection, belonging, and love.
Yes.
So in a nutshell, that's what I do.
Yeah, no, 110%. And I think I told you whenever I came across your page several weeks ago, like honestly, literally the minute I like read her bio, I like immediately followed her, because, you know, we live in this world where there's a ton of fitness professionals, which is fine. There's a ton of coaches just like myself as well. But like you said, like it goes so much deeper than, oh, I can help you lose weight, or I can help you get fit, or, you know, like you were saying, you know, aiming for like your body goals. And I think even for me, like one thing I'm learning as I've like just started recently talking specifically about weight loss is I find myself not wanting, honestly, sometimes I don't even want to say the words weight loss, because it's,
Yeah.
because I kind of want to be like, but that's not the point. And it sort of
Right.
sucks. Yeah, like, and it sort of sucks that for marketing purposes, these are things that, we have to say if we want to be able to like draw in our audiences and, make them understand. But yeah, again, like
Mhm.
for someone like me who's been struggling with weight loss and weight gain for several years, like I finally got to a point where I was like, Bianca, this is more than cutting calories and working out harder. Like, I'm like,
Girl, yes.
yes, I'm like, for me,
Yes.
I'm literally like, okay, we've already done this. Like, we've lost weight. I'm like, you can lose weight, Bianca. Like, this is not like, we
Hmm.
know you can do this, but it's like I have to
I
ask myself,
love
like,
that.
why do I have such a hard time keeping it off? And why? What are these narratives that I'm telling myself, and all of these things? So I'm so glad again, like I'm so glad that I came across you, and that you made it clear that this is not just, oh, here's the right form for a push-up, but it really is about doing that inner work for your overall
Hmm.
health, physical, mental, emotional, all of it.
Exactly. And really addressing like why you're doing this in the first place. I can teach how to lose weight all day, but if we don't get to the core of, first of all, how did you get to where you are? And also, what is it that you're truly wanting? So you can actually heal that. So then you're not stuck in this cycle of, oh, this 6 week weight loss program, you reach the weight and then you just go back to how it was.
Yes, yes, 100%.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in because I do have a few questions that I want to go over. And the first one is, whenever it comes to weight loss and, just honestly anything involving our body, why do you feel that a healthier relationship with our bodies is so important? And, especially when someone is trying to lose weight, like, why is it more than just, oh, here is how you lose weight? What
Yeah.
impact does it have whenever we focus on the relationship with our bodies?
Yeah, so it took me a really long time to get to telling women that like you can't hate yourself to a body that you love. Like it's all about intention and understanding and then your process to getting there. You have to have a healthy relationship with your body because then that really it's what fuels the journey that you have. So if you're hating your body, and making these changes, like it's always going to be fueled from that place of unhappiness, not enoughness, and you can totally get to your weight loss goal, like your ultimate weight loss goal, and still be so incredibly unhappy in the body that you're in. And so it's important to first, even before the pounds start coming off, start developing a healthy relationship with your body. Fuel your journey from a place of love because I'm a huge energy person. So if you're already in that energy of love and feeling good, it's going to be just natural to want to do things that feel good to your body, to want to fuel your body with foods that make you feel good, movements that make you feel good, and all the self-care stuff that just makes you feel good. And what I find with most women is even before, like if that is your intention and energy in the first place, even before you reach that number on the scale or whatever you're chasing, you already feel really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Because last year was the first time, I think, and I've talked about this a little bit on my page, but last year was the first time that I had lost weight. I lost 16 pounds, and I didn't do any diets. I didn't do anything crazy. And I won't lie. Now, while it felt like the results took longer at first, like once
Mhm.
I realized, I think it really hit me when I lost like 8 pounds or something. Like I was like, oh, like it was, I mean, to me it was like the weight loss was a side effect of me doing all
Oh,
of these other things. Like I started really, I mean, I'd like taken walks before, but like I really got into it more last year. And if you're someone who works from a computer like I do, you can maybe relate to this. Like it's like getting outside, it's almost like mandatory like at this point.
exactly.
And so like for
Yes.
me, like that was a really good example of like, I want to get outside because it just feels good to have the sun on my skin. Like it
Mm-hmm.
feels good to not be sitting and like just like
Yep.
looking at a screen. And it's
Yeah.
literally, it's been like the small things like that that have really made me shift my perspective. And I'm not gonna lie to you now, like it's even like to this day, like it's hard not to go on a diet. Like it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
so they are like seductive. I mean, it's like,
Oh,
oh, all you
yeah.
gotta do is this, and in 10 days time, all of this, and then like my brain is like, well, and like I have to, no, like I have to keep, holding on to that, which I think really goes into, what you were talking about whenever you were referring to the actual relationship, because the relationship is long term. It's not temporary.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, like it's the marketing, it's the media, it's the messaging. It's so easy to read, this ad for a 21 day whatever, right? It's enticing. It's like, oh, I can get what I want in 21 days. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't I do that? And even for me in having to work and heal my own relationship with my body image issues, things like that still like
Yeah.
catch my attention. Like I'm still like, oh, like it'll still get me for like a few seconds, and I'm like, no, I have learned beyond this. I know what it is I'm truly seeking, and I know how to get it. So I think that it's more like media and the culture, like diet culture, is just what it is. It's like the fast food. It's always gonna call out to you.
Yep.
But once you actually know, like you said, like you start to go for walks because it feels good, then those long-term shifts start to happen.
Yes, 100%. And that's why like I'm consistently talking about the importance of habits, because habits are those things that we do like almost without effort. Like even and
Hmm.
obviously we all want to get to a point where it's essentially like automatic. So whenever
Yeah.
we focus on building these long-term habits, such as taking a walk because that feels really good to your body, saying nice things to yourself, being compassionate, like once that is a habit, it's like it's amazing how much easier things become, instead of
Oh
like the
yeah.
reverse side, where it's like instead
Hmm.
of starting off and trying to make it easy by doing the, oh, all you got to do is this and drop 30 pounds in 30 days. It's like that's when you're trying to start with the easy way out, and it ends up making it so
Yeah.
much harder for us in the long run.
Exactly. And like you said, it becomes easier. You naturally like your body naturally water. It naturally craves going, for me, journaling or things like that. So it's, yes, it is a long-term investment, but then those things become things that you really crave and need and just naturally want to do.
Yes. Like honestly, like when people ask me, and I get this question all the time, like, how are you so motivated to work out every week, every day? And I told people, I'm like, I promise you, it's not motivation. I'm like, and I don't at all say this to sound cocky. I'm like, working out is part of who I am because I've
Mm.
been doing it for so long. I was like, for me, if I go longer than like 5 days without working out, like I don't know,
Oh.
like things just start like everything is off. But the thing is, you
Yep.
know what? Like I had to get to that point for the first couple of years. Girl,
Hmm.
I was just like everybody else. I didn't see that gym for months at a time. Like I would skip, like
Right.
I would do all these things, and we're human. Like it happens, but you have to keep going and you have to be consistent. So whenever people are saying, "What's your secret?" I'm like, it's really like the secret to everything else. It's being consistent. Like if you
Hmm.
want to, if you want to be able to work out, and that's whatever working out means to you. But if you want to be able to be more active, you find things that feel good for your body and you do them consistently. And then again, you'd be surprised at how much easier it becomes later.
Yes, like you said, it becomes a natural part of your life because that's what feels good, and because it's being fueled from this is what helps me feel good in my life, and so naturally you do it. It's not work anymore.
Exactly. That to me, that is the goal. Like people, like
Yeah.
whenever I talk to people about like my health goals, I'm like, my goal is not to walk into a party and there's like a platter of cookies and the entire night my brain is like, go get another. Go and like that's not, and then like, oh, at the end of the night I didn't get it. That's not my goal. My goal is to walk
Right.
in and see them. And if I really want one, I have one. And I'm not beating myself
Hmm.
up about it and I'm not freaking out about it. And it's not, like it's not controlling me. I'm like, that's ultimately, in my opinion, that should be the real goal, not, I need to lose this amount of weight by this, or I just need to be able to, I don't know, I just need to stop eating this. I'm like, anytime somebody tells me about not eating something, I'm like, bye. I can't
Yeah,
even listen to
no,
you. Like if you're gonna try to tell me I have to
no.
cut anything out of my life, I'm like,
Nope. 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 Because already, like the minute for me, like the minute you tell me I can't have this, you can never do this. In my mind, I'm just like, that's all I'll think about now. Like
yeah,
it then creates this power over me to where it just then becomes like the thing that I want.
yeah,
And I know that it's not because I want, it's because you told me I can't have it.
exactly.
So yeah, yeah.
And
No, you shouldn't
it's
have to
also
cut anything.
exactly, and it's also fueling that. I mean, like you said before, I mean, it's like you're being fueled by deprivation. Like now,
Mm,
you're getting to this goal, but you got here because you were starving yourself, or you got here because you were eating bowls of lettuce for dinner every night because you felt like that's what you
oh
had to
God.
do. And then,
Hmm.
however much longer, a few weeks, a few months down the road, now, like you're binging, and I've been there. Listen, I'm humble. It's like no shade. Like I've been there, but however
Hmm.
much time down the road, you're binging all of these things, and then there comes like that mental cycle of the disappointment and that negative self-talk, and it's such a vicious cycle.
Yes, yes. And like I feel and again like in more recently I've been working and focusing a lot more on like the experiences of Black women. And this thought, kept coming back to me is that like we already face so much oppression. Like why oppress ourselves with
Yeah.
these like depriving, restrictive um ideas of what we're supposed to do to be acceptable. Like, no, there's a better way. You don't have to do that to yourself.
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
100%. All right, let me move to the next question because I know I can go
Okay.
on and on. So, how, in your opinion, how has the world really impacted our relationship with our bodies over the years? And the world can be, social media, or the people around us. You can speak to any of it, but what do you feel like that impact has been?
Okay, in my opinion, and just what I've seen and talking to women, I think that the world has taught us what an acceptable, desirable body looks like. And, unfortunately, we're reinforced with ideas that that is the body that gets like the love, the attention, the all the things that we most of us want. And so it's made a lot of other bodies that maybe don't look like that, which like there's nothing wrong with that body, but I think that there's a problem with pushing the narrative there's only one body type size that is acceptable. And so
Right.
many of us then try to be that body, look like that body, but if you're going to force yourself or your body to be things that it naturally isn't, you're going to be disappointed and frustrated
Yeah.
every single time, right?
Yes.
And so I think, in my opinion, the world that's the damage that the world has done to many of us is that it's taught us that there's only one acceptable body. And for years and years and years, I work with women, but people, whatever, have tried to be just that image
Yeah.
that we've been sold.
Yes. I mean, and I know that, we talked briefly because I know like you're like being like a fitness trainer. And I think, my boyfriend's also a trainer. So we talk about these things all the time. And literally, like he'll ask people, like, what are your goals? And then like people will literally reach out to him and be like, oh, can you make me look like Tiana Taylor? Or can you get me a body like this? And it's crazy. And allow what's so crazy is like it really is the norm. Like people
Hmm.
reach out to him specifically to get fit for a certain event. People reach out to him and they say, "All I want to do is lose my stomach," and it's again like
Hmm.
it's the norm. And I think that that's the part
Yeah.
that's really sad is like like we all have to play a part that kind of is aware and get above that and realize that this is not about being a specific weight. It's not even necessarily about being really fit. I mean, above all, it's about health. Like that, like that's
Yeah.
like the biggest thing is like it's about being in a body that can serve you, right? Like doing things that feel good, doing things that are going to help your body live as long as it can on this earth, like not
Exactly.
necessarily prescribing to one body type. And like whenever I
Mm-hmm.
first started, well, a little bit before I started talking about weight loss, I was still talking about like stocks and things like that. I literally was
Yeah.
telling people, I was like, can people, I was like, y'all recommend some people for me to follow, because if you look up hashtag fitness on Instagram,
Oh God.
I'm
Yeah.
just stressed. Like I was mind blown. Like I was like,
Hmm.
and I was like, when did fitness become the equivalent of just like ass? I'm like, what? I'm like, what is all, like, you look up fitness, all you see are these like super toned, smooth, perfect skin and like a thong. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what? Like
This
when,
is not.
and
Mm-mm.
especially considering now, because I mean, let's just be honest, fitness is a lot more trendy now than it was 5-10 years ago. Like 5-10 years ago, people weren't talking
No.
as much about working out, and now that it has become trendy, I think that's another thing, is that people, even people like me who are looking for some like authentic pages to follow, like I want to see like some cool workouts, or I want to see people who are active, but again, like it's the feeds, the hashtags, like they're flooded with that
Yeah.
ideal thing. And I'm like, this isn't inspiring. Like
Hmm.
this is not a hashtag that I'm gonna follow and be
No.
like motivated to get up and move my body. Like it's just that, going back to that unrealistic expectation.
Right. Yes. Yes. And it is like, because that's the image that is pushed, now that is the image that people are trying to be. And what a lot of people don't even know is that that image isn't even real. Like that girl with the booty and the like that's not even real.
Yeah.
And so I really think that that is the damage that the world has done to many people, is that they've said this is the ideal image, and if you are not this, then something is wrong with you. So what many of us then do is literally contort ourselves to try and be this image that we're really like never gonna be. And like I said,
Yeah.
if we're gonna keep trying to make ourselves be something we naturally aren't, we're gonna be disappointed every single time.
Right, which ultimately ends up just feeding back into that cycle of that being disappointed, that negative self talk, and just feeling like you're letting yourself down. But in reality, it's like that's really what's letting us down. The things that we say to ourselves, calling ourselves,
Hmm.
saying things like I'm fat, or whenever I get to this weight, and that's something like I really, really I really have to get a hold on that. And honestly, it's something I'm working on now. Like
Yeah.
that attitude of, when I get to
Yeah.
this weight, I'm going to do this. I'm like, do it now.
Hmm. Do it
Do it,
now.
do it today. Because I mean, and I've
Yes.
not been there. Like I have literally been 1 pound from what I consider to be my goal weight. I've been 1 pound away, and I can remember still feeling fat. I was not happy. I felt like and I mean, and of course, now looking back, being able to see that, it's like, how could I have thought that then? But like,
Yeah.
it's because I wasn't working on my relationship with my body. All I was working on was dropping pounds. That
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
on the
And
scale,
like,
man.
exactly. And having gone through that experience, you can see how, like, if you just start doing, like, if your goal is to feel really good, then just start doing things that feel really good. Like if you want to lose weight so you can wear these clothes that you feel really good in, just start doing that now. If you want to lose weight so you can start, I don't know, dating, just start dating now. Like
Yep.
everything you want because of whatever you think the weight loss is going to bring you, just start doing that now, and you'll be surprised to see how much easier even that weight loss goal is, because it is fueled from such a different place.
Yes, yes, 110%. And speaking of, some of the things that people can start doing, from your experience, your expertise, what are 3 things that women can do to really start healing our relationships with our bodies? Even if, whether you're trying to lose weight or not, but like, what are some things that we can do to make sure that we are, like we're approaching weight loss and fitness and eating healthy with the right mindset that will actually help us build these sustainable habits and not just help us drop weight or look more like what society considers to be beautiful.
Yeah. So I'll give you three, and I don't know if you'll be surprised or not surprised to know that it literally has nothing to do with food or exercise or anything at all. So first, I would say start spending time with your body. Like just start spending time with your real body. So I teach my clients to do mirror work. So literally just stand in the mirror and like look at yourself and just start getting comfortable with the body that you're actually in. It's so amazing to me how many women just don't look at themselves. Like you naked in the mirror, looking at your body. Like a lot of women will not do that. And that
Oh,
is like step one
that's hard. I'm not
of
like,
just
even
start.
as you're saying that, I'm like, whoo,
Yeah,
that's hard.
I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but even just that simple exercise, you don't have to say anything. Just sit there, your body, the mirror, and just sit and observe yourself. That right there will start a healing shift as far as like just being able to sit with yourself. So that's number one.
Okay.
The second one is to start treating yourself like someone you love. I think sometimes when it comes to like self-love, it's a big concept sometimes because we struggle with a lot. Like self-esteem is, I think, an epidemic in like our society and especially in in Black women. But to start treating yourself with someone as someone like you treat someone you love. Sometimes it's easier to think of it that way because there's so much that you would never say to someone else that you say to yourself. Like as far as
Yes.
negative self-talk, like even for me,
Yes.
I catch myself saying things that I would never say to like my sister or my mom or like I would never say
Mhm.
that. So just that small shift of think of it as like would I say this to my mother? Like would I say this to my sisters? And then start making those negative talks, you start turning those to positivity. And like as a 2.0, like a bonus for one and two is to combine the two is then sit in the mirror in your all your glory, in your nakedness, in your true self, and start saying positive things to yourself. Like start saying really good things about your body. Start saying, the compliments that you wish you would get from other people. Like start giving those to yourselves. You, the mirror, positive self-talk. Again, that's a
Love that.
huge, just those two things alone will start a huge shift in how you really feel about yourself. And then the third one is to surround yourself with positive images and representations of yourself. So this can be like with social media. Like I went through a whole phase where I had to unfollow people and pages who made me feel really bad about myself and my
Child.
body. Because you're feeding yourself these things. You get to choose. You
Yeah.
can choose not to put that on yourself. If you're gonna scroll all the time and see women that look in ways that you could not look, you're gonna feel really bad about yourself.
Yes.
So start then once you like delete the people who make you feel bad about yourself, fill yourself with positive images that truly reflect what you look like. Like for me, I started following more natural haired women, darker skinned women, women who had like a body shape like mine. Then it starts to normalize. You start to normalize your body with like positiveness and beauty and all the things that you want to feel yourself with. So those are just three, again, very simple things that, again, have nothing to do with like food or exercise. But as far as healing your relationship with your body, those are some amazing places to begin.
Yeah, no, I love that. I'm personally, I'm not surprised that they are. Thank you for the hearts. Personally, I'm not surprised that they're not related to food and fitness. Maybe some other people are, but again, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about. Just that inner work that not as many people are talking about. Like we're so quick to tell you how to cut calories. We're so quick to tell you how to track everything that you eat. How you need to be. Going low carb and skipping meals or intermittent fasting, whatever y'all want to call it. Like we're so determined to, we're so determined that
Girl,
there's some
yes.
trick or some secret. But like I love these things because also like they're there's, I think it's Mel Robbins who talks a lot about how things are simple, but they're not easy. So like
Mm-hmm.
these things that you say, like
Mm.
I can feel like even like number one, I was kind of like sit in the mirror
Oh.
and look at
Yeah.
myself. Hey Bria, like sit in the mirror
Yes.
like that to me already feels like, and I mean, and I know that like we're not gonna, I'm not gonna allow myself to go into like a rabbit hole, but like I love like what you were saying about how you started following people who, like they don't make you feel bad. And honestly, like it's no shade to them. It's not like, oh, they don't have a right to post their body because they look a certain way, but I tell people like when they're like, "Oh, did you see what this person posted?" Great conversation, thank you. Like if you saw what this person posted, and I'm like, no, I'm like I don't follow them. Like there are even women
Yeah.
who I love, but I don't follow because I know that whenever I'm looking at them, it like I don't feel good, and that may change one day. I don't know, maybe it will. But as of right now, I was like, following all these people who weigh like 130, 140 pounds, they posting their abs. I'm like, it might be motivating for you, but it's not for me. I'm like, I feel like shit.
Right.
Like honestly,
Yes. Yeah.
whenever I look at those things, yes, we cannot shame ourselves into meeting
But
our goals. Facts. I mean, it's
no,
something that we just
exactly.
like. Unfortunately, a lot of us have to learn it the hard way. And I also love what you were saying just about like that negative self talk because I constantly find myself I constantly find myself saying, Bianca, why are you still in this position? Like, why haven't you made
Wow.
this, why haven't you met this goal? Why are you still
Mm.
struggling with this? And like you said, I would never say that to a friend. I would never say that to my sister. If someone came to me and they were like, I just can't believe I'm going with this, I would never say, why is this still a problem for you?
Yeah. Right?
But why is
We
it
say that
so
to
easy
ourselves
for us to
all
say
the
that to
time.
ourselves? Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. Yes, like you said, they're simple, but they're not easy. I remember the first time I did that mirror exercise and just sat there and looked at like I sat there and I just cried because I literally just I never just sat there and looked at my body, let alone like start to associate like positivity and beauty and all these good things with it. So yes, it's simple, but these things are not easy, but they are like life changing. As simple as they are, they're life changing for real.
Yeah, and I think even what you were saying about, like following, like even like you, that was one of the reasons I was really drawn to you. Someone else who was dark skinned and someone else who had, like natural hair. And again, no shade to the people who have a loose curl pattern, but that ain't me. Like my curl, I'm like, I got like the kinkiest of the kinkiest whenever it comes to like the hair. Like it's I mean, it's
Yes.
a real thing. And if you are only following, like for me to only follow, like black women who are, really light skinned or, black women who have, that really like loose curl pattern, like that was doing something to me. And
Oh
and
my
I actually
gosh.
just recently started posting workout videos. I mean, I've been working out for probably a decade now, and I just recently
Hmm.
started actually doing like workout videos. And I even noticed like on the days, like when I have braids, like I'm way more confident. But I'm not gonna lie, now, like on the days when my hair is natural, like there's sometimes I'm tempted not to post. Like
Yeah. Oh,
it's a real
yeah.
thing. Like it's sad, but it's true.
It is a real thing. And I totally I understand. I totally relate. There are days where I don't want to show up because like I'm not feeling good about myself. But then I think of like all the women and I'm like passing this to you and hoping that like this helps for you. Like there are all these women waiting for you to show up. Like there
Yes.
are women who look like you, like who are the same body size as you, dark skinned women looking for someone to just give them just a little bit of empowerment and hope and inspiration, and like you're that person. Like I get to be that person for people, so that motivates me to show up even when like I'm struggling in my own
Yeah.
days.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is, girl, that
Yeah.
that is that is honestly probably the only thing that does keep me going. I mean, and I even tell like no one knows because all y'all see is like the real and like the workouts. But I swear, like if my boyfriend were on, he would tell you that I'm like, don't get me from that side. Don't get this angle. Like there's
Yeah.
like some exercises y'all don't even see them. Like you don't. Like, I mean, just again, full transparency. Like I mean,
Yeah.
and because I'm not perfect. Like it's something that I'm working on too. But just like you said, that's what I'm constantly trying to keep in mind. Like oh, I don't want to post this because I can see a roll over here. That's like, Bianca, somebody is gonna see that roll and be so inspired.
Yes.
They're gonna get off their ass and
Oh
do
my
something because
God.
they know,
Yep.
hey, I can take me and my rolls and we about to kill this workout.
Hey, yes, exactly. And it's about like healing our relationship with our bodies is about like truth and authenticity. And
Yeah.
yes, it gets hard, but like you'll get one body. This is your relationship with yourself. Like make it a good one. And I really love that we're having this conversation because I feel like we don't get enough representation, especially like for Black women, at what it looks like to just feel really, really good and empowered and healthy and full of love, like in the body that we're in. So I love that we're having this conversation.
Yes, yes, me too. We'll
Yeah.
definitely we'll have to do this again because I would also love to talk more, even just about like the hair thing. I swear I could go on like a tangent. I'm
Uh,
not, I won't do it, but I swear, like we'll have to have another conversation. But this was so great and loud. Thank you so much. And if someone wants to get in touch
Yeah.
with you or they want to work with you, go ahead and tell us how we can do that.
So the best way is to send me an email. I think my email is in my bio, but it's info@nalauningala.com. But you can always find me on my Instagram. That is the best way to lead to everything else that I do.
Yes, and if you're not following her, definitely follow her because I'm all in her stories. I'm all on her feed. No, honestly, you really are such an inspiration. So thank you for doing
Thank you.
all that you have been doing. Thank you for joining, guys. Like I said before, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to drop them below. You can tag me, you can tag Nalau, and we will see you guys next week on Gold Slay Monday.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thank you
again,
so much
Nalau.
for having me, Bianca.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.